I am recording. Okay. All right. How y'all doing? Good? Okay. So, you're here. I'm impressed. You're here. Okay. That's as good as anybody can expect at the moment. All right. I'm going to share the screen. Oh, wait. Sorry. You just said something in the chat. Hang on. I totally missed it. What did you say? Oh, they just switched from AC to heat. Yep. It's going to take a while to warm up. Okay. Here's what we're doing. So today, we're going to go through the commonalities assignment, and you guys are going to do that with each other in class today, okay? Then after you're done with that, I'm going to take you through these two documents here, the Rogerian argument structure and the graphic organizer. I'm going to show you the assignment for Wednesday, and that will be it that we're doing today, okay? Before we get there, though, I want to point out, hang on, let me pull this down a little bit. So I know that some of you are still turning in the rhetorical analyses, and that's great. Several of you told me you needed a couple extra days, and that's absolutely fine. Thank you for telling me. That is good, responsible studenting. The wind down assignment, I don't know if you guys can see this over here, but about 8 to 9 of you didn't turn that in. So go back and turn that in, because that gives me a sense of how you're doing on the assignment so far. So please go back and do that today. That would be fantastic if you will do that. Okay, let's see. All right, I need to put you into, no, let me go over the commonalities assignment first, okay? And then I will put you into groups. Okay, so this assignment, so Rogerian essays are weird in that they are looking for not necessarily for you to take a side. They're looking for you to look at the different perspectives or the different opinions on a controversial issue. And then they're asking you to validate those perspectives. And then they ask you to find the commonalities, so what these perspectives share. And then going from there, then you come up with your own position and you say that here's what you think should happen. So this assignment can be pretty easy, but it also can be kind of difficult. When I was doing it for mine, I realized it was pretty difficult. And so what you're doing is you're trying to find the commonalities. And what you're going to do is, has everybody printed out or recreated this handout? So that's what you needed to do for class. Okay, so let me know.
I haven't. It didn't let me.
It didn't
like
let
the
you?
page, yeah, the page said it was like it wouldn't come up. It came up with a different PDF whenever I clicked on it.
Oh, weird.
So
Okay.
I wasn't able to get it.
Okay, maybe. Okay, so maybe what? Sorry.
I don't have a printer.
Okay, so I'm going to put it up on the screen here real quick. Hang on, let me open it all the way. And then I want you guys to take a second and I want you to recreate it. So go ahead and take 2 minutes, get a piece of paper, and I just want you to write issue of controversy at the top, generalized positions. It's basically going to be a pro your topic. So you guys are having, the topics that you have are reparations, universal health care, standardized testing, qualified immunity, charter schools, minimum wage, and college athletes. And I want you to make these really sort of absolute. So yes, reparations, no reparations. Yes, universal health care, no universal health care. Yes, standardized testing, no standardized testing. And don't worry about this position 3. Ignore this one. So just do position 1 and 2. So you want issue or controversy at the top, then list your generalized positions 1 and 2, and then make a little table, and it'll say position 1, position 2, values, fears, needs. And then at the bottom, I want you to write commonalities. So take a moment to do that. I'm going to give you 1 minute.
Sorry, just to clarify for the generalized positions, you want us to fill in like yes to our controversy and no to our controversy?
Basically, yeah. So if it's reparations, it would be essentially yes, reparations should be provided, or no, reparations should not be provided.
So both or just one?
Both. You're going to want both of them. You're going to want position one is going to be yes or no, and then the other one will be the opposite. And then just down the side, you'll have values, fears, needs. And then at the bottom, have commonalities. Okay, I'm hoping that you guys have got that pretty much done. So what you're trying to do with this is, in your groups, you're not necessarily going to argue about what you think on the topic at this point. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be talking about these different positions. So what are the values of position one? What are the values of position two? What are the fears of position one? What are the fears of position two? What are the needs of position one? And what are the needs of position two? Okay. And then through that, you're going to look for commonalities. So let me show you my example. Okay, so let me know if you cannot see this. I'm going to assume silence means that you can see this. So this is mine for the Electoral College. And my generalized positions are to disband the college and essentially go to a popular vote, or to keep it as it is. Now, the values that I came up with, looking at the different sources that I had and after I'd learned, so the values of disbanding the college are right here. And so the values that they have are, they value the idea of democracy, meaning democracy in their sense, that democracy means that each person has an equal vote. Okay.
Question when you have a moment.
Yes, absolutely. Ask.
I beg your pardon. There's going to be dogs barking in the background, but with the positions, if there is a third position, and I see you kind of scribbled one out on there, are we kind of disregarding that at this point?
If you have a third position that is distinctly different, go ahead and include that. As I was doing this, I found that it was more difficult to have that third position and more straightforward to just have the two. But if you have one that is, hey, Anna, can you mute for a second? You just accidentally.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
That's fine. That's okay. If you find that you have a really distinct third position, go ahead and use that column. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So the values, so with groups who want to disband the Electoral College, their values is that they value the idea of democracy. They believe in general in the equality of different people, and they have a value of fairness. And so, but the fairness is for specific groups. Okay. For people who want to keep the Electoral College, they value a limited federal government. They value states' rights. They value the original meaning of the Constitution, and they value federalism, which is a real states' rights thing. And this is not anything that I knew. I mean, I thought I knew stuff about the Electoral College and the positions, but I've actually learned quite a bit. And so here's these different values. Okay, so then if I go up and I look at fears, okay, so fears that I found through the readings is the people who want to disband the Electoral College fear white supremacy. They fear not having power, and they fear having another minority president. And a minority president is a president who wins the popular vote, but loses, is a president who wins the popular vote, but loses the Electoral College vote. So what that means is there's a minority of popular vote approval. And so that's why they're called a minority president. The fears of people who want to keep the Electoral College as it is they fear the federal government. They fear people other than white men having the presidency, and they fear losing power. Okay, so I'm starting to look, I'm trying to figure out, okay, do we have anything in common yet? And I'm just still going on. And then I look at needs, and the needs for the people who want to disband the Electoral College is they need the system to be exposed. Like there's this really big drive to expose the Electoral College for what it is because they think people might not understand it. They need people to be the decision makers, not the states. So that's this need that they have. And it's like they don't want a federalist system. And a federalist system is the system where the states pick the president as opposed to the people picking the president. The needs for people who support the Electoral College is they need the US to be a republic of states, not a democracy. And so, because the US is not a straight democracy in terms of how it picks the president, it's a republic, meaning that we pick electors and then electors pick the president. And they also have a really strong need for maintaining order, okay? So as I was looking at all of these things, and I want you to notice that as I'm going through these, I'm not talking about how I feel, I'm talking about what the sources are telling me, and I'm just analyzing the sources. And I look at this and I'm trying to figure out, okay, with a Rogerian argument, I have to figure out what they have in common. And so what do these things share? And so, and I've just written myself some notes here. So this is not Federalist, this is Federalist. At least this is the argument. I'm not sure if it's the real concern though. These notes are all for me, okay? So then I get to the commonalities, and I really had to think hard about this one. It did not come very easily to me. And what I really could figure out is that the commonalities that they had is they both have a desire for power, okay? So at the heart of this argument about the Electoral College, it's about power for both of them. And they also have a desire, or they have this concern that they want to protect minorities. And I have minorities in quotation marks here because there's two different types of minorities. So let me make this a little bit bigger. So the at first I was thinking, okay, the Electoral College is looking at ethnic minorities, but then I kept working and I was like, no, that's not what they're talking about. What the pro disbanding the Electoral College feels about protecting minorities is they are concerned with the urban and the popular vote majority. And so the way that they have it constructed in their mind is that if the popular vote goes one way and the electoral vote goes another way, then all those people who voted in the popular vote are suddenly a type of minority and they need to be protected. The people who want to keep the Electoral College the same, with the exception of the people who are just really just wanting to have the states' rights, they're the really republic anti-popular vote, they're really like states' rights people, because that's like this whole separate issue. What they are concerned with protecting minorities is the rural communities, because if we went away from an Electoral College, rural communities would likely be just squashed with their votes because the urban communities have so many more people in them, okay? So that's what I did to figure out the commonalities. And then from that, I started looking at options. And this was just me because I just started thinking forward to drafting, but this is not where you're going to get today. You'll get to this. We'll start talking about this on Wednesday, but I just started putting down some ideas here for what could be a possible compromise. So what you're going to do in your groups is I'm going to put you into groups based on your topics. And I want you just to talk through what are the values, fears, and needs of the different positions. And I want you to see if you can find the commonalities. And that's all you're looking for. You're not looking for what you think. You're not looking for what somebody else thinks. I don't want you arguing with each other at this point. I want you looking for these different values. Okay, so let me pause for a second and see if there's any questions about what you're going to do. You can either put them in the chat or just unmute and talk. Okay, so sounds like you are all right. So what I'm going to do for a second, I've got to put you into the breakout groups, and it takes me a moment to do that. So while I am doing that, I want you to just review these are the language use guidelines, because I guarantee you that the people who are in your groups do not necessarily all agree with each other. So I want you guys to read through these as I'm putting you into breakout groups. So just take your time, go get yourself a drink or something while I am assigning groups. Okay, so just a second. Where are you? Who is on the iPhone? Because your name is not showing up.
Alex.
Alex, okay, great.
Sorry, I'm still trying to understand how Zoom works.
You're absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. When I assign the groups, I have to see your names and it's just showing up iPhone. So that is why. So Meg, Elise, and Jorge. Okay. And breakout group 3 will be universal healthcare. That's Tommy, Tracy, Sophie. Sophie doesn't appear to be here. Sophie, you're not here, are you? Okay. And then 4 is going to be Italy. Italy, you're going to be on your own, and I'll come in there and talk to you, okay?
Okay.
Then standardized testing is Soraya, Lily. Okay, and then breakout group 6 minimum wage is April and Megan. Okay, so what you're going to do is I'm going to open all the rooms in just a second. You'll go into the rooms, and I want you just to start working on that document. I think you should be able to get it done in about 15 minutes, I would assume. I'm going to pop around into each group just to see how you're doing, and then we'll come back together. Okay? So I'm going to open the rooms now. Go ahead and join them. And April or Italy, I'll come join you in a minute, okay? Hey there. You are muted.
Always
You're
embarrassing.
always muted. Okay, so how are you doing with your research and everything?
Good. So I did turn it in and everything, and I understand like the concept of what we're doing.
Okay, cool. Okay. So what do you find? I'm going to give you like 5 minutes to work on it, like to start filling that out, and then I'll come back in and check on you, okay?
All right, sounds
Okay.
good.
Hi,
Hi, how are you guys doing?
pretty good.
Good.
Are you finding anything meaningful?
Yeah, we are still on the values of position one.
Okay, I will pop back in a little bit, okay? Okay, I think I'm popping in too soon.
So fears would be just too expensive.
Yeah.
Hiya. How are you guys doing?
We're good. It's kind of hard to do values.
Yeah, we're having a hard time, like, I guess, putting that into words.
That's okay. They may not all completely work for you. Some values might be like that people should be paid for, for the work that they do, or people should be paid a living wage. That's kind of a value.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
put
so
like
quality.
yeah, that's a good one. We put like livable wage for everyone under needs. So I thought that
That's
was more of
fine.
a need,
That's absolutely fine. Yeah. And don't worry about whether or not they're in the exact same spot. They're just kind of ideas to help you sort of separate them out. Um, um, the other, like the value against raising minimum wage might be something about like that the profit margin is the most important thing. So if you pay people too much, businesses may not be able to make enough money. Or if you raise the minimum wage, then costs will go up, like that it'll just, and so don't worry about getting them in those specific boxes. You're just trying to, they're just sort of prompts to help you kind of analyze it. Okay. Okay. I'll leave you guys to keep working. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's what I found.
I also found that, speaking of just like indigenous peoples reparations, I found this article that basically just said that the US government didn't really trust Native Americans with the money in the first place. So instead of actually directly giving them the money, they gave that money to like corporations, and then they gave like shares of stocks to those people. which doesn't really seem like the right way to go about it, I guess. And so, yeah, I don't know. Doesn't seem helpful, I guess.
You guys making progress in like figuring out the values, fears, needs?
We've kind of talked about them. We haven't organized them completely, but we've talked about
That's cool.
that stuff. Yeah. So
the one thing I want to say is don't get too hung up on, I should have said this at first, don't get too hung up on whether or not something's a value or a need or a fear. Just kind of use those as prompts, but don't worry about like fitting them into the right place. Okay. Just as you move forward. Okay. Because you're just really looking for commonalities eventually. Okay. Okay. I'll give you guys some more time. I'll come back unless you have any questions. Okay. I'm out.